once upon a time, well, it wasn't that long ago, the World Wide Web was born. It was a little monster then, but it soon grew into a big monster.
And of course, once lots of people were on there, then that created an audience. And once there was an audience, different corporations and organisations wanted to be on there as well. And so when they came on board and wanted to have a web presence on the World Wide Web, then they needed to have the same kind of look and feel that you would find in their corporate brochure or in their advertising and that sort of thing.
But that was the bad old days.
In the late 1990s, what you were also finding was that a lot of websites were designing for one particular type of browser. So for example, it wouldn't be uncommon to go to a website and see that on the home page it would say this website works best with Internet Explorer with an 800 by 600 pixel screen with a 24-bit true color display card. And you know, for the average person, what does that mean? They just want to come along and see a website.
In other words, website anarchy. No one really thought about design in those days.
So you'd have garishly coloured backgrounds, and in fact you probably have tiled backgrounds where you'd put an image in the background and these would be tiled all across the screen, and the colours that were used in these backgrounds would clash with the colours that were being used on the actual page, so it'd make it very difficult to actually read the text that was being used. And you can't blame people. They were just putting home pages up about their cats. This is my cat. There were hundreds of web pages about cats, but they'd maybe put a background image of their cat which would tile all across the screen. It makes it very difficult to actually read any content on the page when you've got that sort of background. But it was also a lot of fun. It was the infancy of the web, and people were just learning how to use this new medium.
Amazon is one of the big e-commerce success stories.
What Amazon have done, which is really nice, actually, is that they've kept the interface as minimal as possible, and they tried to keep as much white space on the page. They could have branded it in a strong colour and it'd be all about the brand, the Amazon brand, but it's not actually. Amazon sits very, very comfortably just in the corner of the screen. And what they actually try to do is let the products speak for themselves and the products market themselves. When you walk into any shop in the high street, what's the first thing that stands out to you? It's not how great the shop is inside. Sure, that might have part of it. That might be part of the pleasure of going and shopping in that shop. Part of that pleasure might also be the music that they're playing in that shop. But it's not why you go into the shop. The reason you go into the shop is because they've got something that you want. And it's the product that grabs your attention. And if the product isn't any good, it doesn't matter how nice the shop is inside, you will still walk out of the shop. And so the same is true when you come to an online situation as well. If you come to a shop and it's got all the bells and whistles and it looks lovely, but you can't see the product, then people are just going to hit the back button and disappear.
Websites can never really be like shops. There'll never be anyone to greet you and show you around, but they try to make you feel at home. If you're an established customer, Amazon remembers this when you log on, using cookies, little bits of information stored on your computer. And they make very sure you know about special offers. Mark has some concerns about Amazon's design. For example, the duplicate navigation system.
And duplicate navigation basically gives people the same information but twice. And because of that, it can become confusing. We've got the tab system across the top, which works extremely well. We're all really familiar with that sort of metaphor. So when we look at that, it's great. But then when we look down the side here, we get another navigation system, which is slightly different again. And it just forms a little problem in some people's mind. So, for example, when I look across the top, I can't see baby anywhere, but the first option here is baby. So we've got already a kind of mismatch between the navigation.